process that their lot had not been properly subdivided, and they were not going to be able to sell apart from clearing a subdivision issue, and they were being asked to put $5,000 in at 10,000, 5,000 in escrow towards the cost of clearing the problem. I don't know if anybody had seen it who's at this meeting this morning. And actually, we had talked about this issue last year at one point, but now maybe it will be more relevant because this is now pasted across the news. I felt bad for the title company and the surveyor who were featured in the piece. The
Yeah, we did
surveyors were,
too. We talked about that. We were like, oh my gosh, this is in
yeah.
such a bad light.
Yeah, yeah. No one will, at least the surveyor's retired, but it's one we used to use.
Oh,
Um,
that's good.
um, so, so the issue is, what exactly is the problem? And just to lay it out for you, a lot of times when we do title searches in some of the cities with older neighborhoods like Norfolk, Hampton, Newport News, Portsmouth, I mean, even some in Virginia Beach, of course, every deed has a legal description of the property, and what you want to see is a nice, clean description that says Lot 26, Block 18, Section 5 of Green Run, or whatever it happens to be. But back when they were doing these 25-foot lots on the subdivision plats from around the turn of the century, a builder would typically buy like a lot and a half. So you have lot 26 and the northern 12 and a half feet of lot 25. And then they would have a better, a more lot frontage and could build a bigger house on it. And that was just common practice. However, back in the probably starting in the late 30s, going up through probably the 60s, the local governments all adopted something called a subdivision ordinance. And those subdivision ordinances followed state law, and they said that in order for you to divide property and move a boundary, basically to move any boundary line, you had to have the county or the city's approval to do so, or else it was deemed to be illegal to subdivide the property by just doing a deed like had been done in the past. But a lot of people kept doing that, and the cities and the counties were not enforcing these violations. And frankly, the fine for an enforcement is only $500. So it's really not an issue that we are aware that the cities are pursuing. I don't think I've ever seen a notice of violation of record in any title search I've ever seen in the last 35 or so years. So it's not something that's an issue with the city, but it becomes an issue with title insurance because there are exclusions under the standard title insurance policy where they will not cover violations of ordinance. So where do you get coverage for this? The client would have to buy an enhanced owner's title insurance policy and be able to make a claim under it. So a regular purchaser can get one, but it can buy an enhanced policy. But I checked again this morning with the title insurer, and apparently you still cannot buy an enhanced policy in the name of an LLC. So that pretty much means most of the flippers who are buying and doing their business under an LLC most likely cannot buy an enhanced title policy. I mean, we can try, but if the title agency is doing their job, they probably will say, sorry, we can't sell you an enhanced policy. So they may not even be notified of it. Hopefully, they'll be notified. Our title agency is supposed to be telling us every time they run across a description that looks like it could have been an illegal subdivision. So the question is, if you can't get title coverage over this when you buy the lot or the house, then what do we as the buyer's attorney do before they purchase this property? So we have kept a bunch of memos that we've gotten from different cities that say when their subdivision ordinances were enacted. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's not across the board one date for the whole city because a lot of the cities are cobbled together where they annexed property from this and that county that had existed before all the cities currently came to be. So it might be 1945 for one part of Norfolk, and it might be 1942 for another part, and 1938 for another part. Big pain in the neck. So we first try to see if we can eliminate it just by determining if that part of the city had a subdivision ordinance applicable to it when the subdivision by deed happened. If it didn't, then the subdivision deed is fine because subdivision by deed is fine because it was not against the law when it happened. But then the question is, if we can't rule it out that way, our next step would be to try to contact the city surveyor's office or the city attorney's office. It used to be we could get the city attorney's office to research it and give us a letter, but I think they were getting so many requests that they've really stopped cooperating with that and basically say, you figure it out. So we can't necessarily, at least in a timely manner, get a letter from the city. So if we can't get it ruled out, sure, the buyer could negotiate for a credit from the seller. The News 13 article or piece said that it was costing $5,000. I would say it maybe would be a bit less than that, but if you can get $5,000, that would be great, because that would cover the cost of having to hire a survey, a new plat of the property, and to go through the city process and pay the city fees and possibly to have some sort of additional deed drawn, which would then require attorney's fees on top of all that. Um, I guess I would be hesitant to recommend someone just, have that as a blanket rule because it could be that the city will say, we're not going to approve this. So you would want some time to consult with a surveyor and consult with the city to say, if we go through this process and we spend this money, are you all going to, can you give us some assurance that you're going to actually approve this plat? And some of it may have to do with whether or not the lot as created is going to meet the current standards. I mean, is there, are there proper setbacks? Is there enough, depth from the front of the lot to the edge of the where the house is? And you could probably try to get some sort of preliminary information on that, but you'd have to have a surveyor already hired to help with that. So, if you do have, then the next question is, if you do have the enhanced title policy, what does it provide you on this issue? And there is something called Covered Risk 16 that says if the insured is unable because of a violation of the subdivision laws to obtain a building permit or sell or finance the property, then they do have coverage. But the problem is there is a $2,500 deductible for that type of claim under your owner's title policy and a $10,000 cap. So it's only worth so much. Um, so the best thing is for us, as a settlement agent, we're on guard and we notify you. And if there is a description like that, to do some preliminary investigation on behalf of the buyer before they agree, either to accept a credit or to say to the seller, I'm sorry, I can't buy this with this subdivision by deed. So we go through that process first, and then they can make the decision of whether they feel safe going forward. So I don't know if I answered, if I covered what you wanted, Thomasina, about that, or if you had something else
Yeah,
you were interested in knowing about it.
no, that was perfect. Does anybody have any questions about that? You can unmute if you're on Zoom, and then anybody in here, of course. It looks like you covered it pretty well.
It's a little obscure, and I'm sorry about that, but we will be, we're on the lookout for these types of descriptions. They are way common. And, I see investors buying property with those descriptions all the time. I think it's fine if you're going to buy and hold, but just keep in mind that it may be flagged if you go to sell and you've got a description, and you haven't gotten enhanced. And for an investor to buy an enhanced policy, I don't think they can buy it in an LLC because an LLC apparently doesn't qualify for an enhanced policy, but they could buy it in an estate planning trust or in their personal names to be able to get the enhanced policy. So, yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah,
we'll keep looking out for you on that.
we're talking about it at Stump the Broker on Tuesdays. When we don't have office meetings, we have Stump the Broker, and we were talking
Yeah.
about that. It was a pretty big discussion. So a lot of the people that are on here now were there then, but it was
Okay.
very, yeah, we all kind of felt the same way, that it was painting the appraiser and the closing company in a pretty bad light.
Yeah. And I felt bad for the listing agent because her sign is, right there.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so
All
bad.
right. Well,
Yeah,
y'all have already covered it all, so I really don't have any more to add on that then.
Yeah,
So,
we needed your input though, because what we covered, we didn't know if we were right or not.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's unfortunately it takes a while. I mean, we've tried in the past, and Austin's had some success in getting letters from a couple of the cities, but then they kind of shut that down because I think everybody was asking them for letters. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I bet they were. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my goodness. Well, thank you so much, Susan, and thank you for the bagels.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome. All right, if y'all need anything, of course, always contact us. We love trying to field your questions, but you don't need us. You've got Lucy and Thomasina and yourselves. So, yeah.
No, we always need you. Always
All
need
righty.
you in Austin.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, bye. All right, Craig, you were up, sir.
All right, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Perfect. All right. What's up?
It'll follow you.
Okay, so this Saturday we have the cornhole tournament. It's coming up that you all in Thomasina are big sponsors for. It's gonna be Chicho at 29th Street, starting at 12, and it's gonna go to about 5. If you can just stop by, eat pizza or get a drink or whatnot, 10% of proceeds are going to the wrestling team as well. Over the last 3 years, we've raised over $15,000 for this event that I've hosted. So that's impactful for the wrestling team because they, only get to go to one travel tournament a year. And the last couple of years, they sent kids to the Beast of the East, which is like the well-known tournament. Very well known. You have the top 50 wrestlers in the country sometimes will go there and wrestle. So it's super impactful for the higher end wrestlers. And then for the wrestlers that aren't as great, they go to what's called Becca on the same weekend. And Becca is another very well known tournament in Pennsylvania. And without these funds, they would not be able to do those types of different events. And only wrestling your people around here doesn't really challenge you. So that's a big reason why we do this and why we've done this for the past couple of years to assist my son. As you all know, is a senior this year. So we're rounding out that.
What school?
So he's decided he's going to go to VMI.
But I mean, wrestling team. Who is that associated with? That,
Oh, it's through First Colonial High School.
oh,
Good question. Yep, through First Colonial, but it's Beach Boys Wrestling because, as I know, you can't really put the high school team on. It's got to be the club team. When it comes to that, to like raise money for the 501c3, they can't really put First Colonial ... It's like a thing through the athletic association. Teams do it, but I guess it's against the rules. So they put it on the club team. So that's why Beach Boys Wrestling is First Colonial, and they got kids as little as, I don't know, like 6 years old going to clubs. So it's really cool for that. Yeah, what else? So we have Ask the Appraiser coming up here on the end of the month. So Thursday, please invite your friends, invite anybody that you know that might get some benefit from that training. It will be on Zoom as well. We have a VA appraiser coming in. It's Thursday.
It's on our events calendar,
Yes, I believe so. I'll double check. Yes.
28th at noon.
Yep. The 28th at noon, and we have the floor doctor and floors director is going to be hosting the lunch and learn for us. So that was very nice of them to do that. And then that same day, earlier in the day, that same day, later in the day, I have Direct Connect Networking. So it's a great networking group to come in and meet different people from hard money lenders. There's different buy and hold, buy and flips, different opportunities to share your information. If you do have that one client that doesn't maybe want to put it on market and they just need to get rid of it, there was literally probably 4 private money lenders there last time. There was 30 people there. So there's a good opportunity to kind of expand your network by going to these that specific networking meeting. And then there's obviously like the guy that does landscaping and the roofing guy and deck and fence. There's different types of people there. It's a really well-rounded group of people for sure.
When is that one?
It's the same day as the Ask the Appraiser, except it's in the afternoon starting.
Is that one on our Facebook group?
I'm not sure.
At that one, if it is.
Where is it?
Yeah. It's at Floors Direct. It's right.
Okay,
It's near Newtown Road. It's like on the edge of Norfolk, Virginia Beach.
same place, okay.
Yeah. You guys went, so
Okay.
So yeah, there's some, as you know, there were some buy and hold people there, and there's different resources. Our buddy Jim was there.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's pretty much that. Then you had brought up something I wanted to bring up to you all. So everybody's familiar with MeVita, right? And we're familiar with the Wave Park, the MeVita, and the grill. So they have this thing called the In Kind app, and they loved it because when I told them about it, basically it's an in-kind app. So if you ever go to the Grill or MeVita, you download this app and you can get free in-kind bucks. And then when you share it, like I shared mine with them, once they go spend $25, I'll get a free $25. And I only tell you that because it's cool when you share with your clients if there's like different things that they can go do or different activities, especially during the summertime, the buzz around the wave park.
Yeah.
Nikki said it best, and I was like, I'm all in.
It's really cool just being there, and we had Mother's Day there on Saturday. The vibe was amazing.
Yes, so it's a great area. When she brought it up, I was like, I'm gonna tell everybody about that too. So yes, the wave park is awesome. And well, the wave park's great to look at, but the whole area around it is
By the way, it's only $20 to $23 if you want to go in there. Not, of course, wait.
Don't
Not,
do anything.
Just go, yeah.
But just be in there. I think that's not too
Yeah,
bad. Too.
it is cool.
$25.
Yeah, it's basically like if you ever go on vacation, it's like buying a day pass for a
Yeah,
beach resort
yeah.
or something.
I think $20 is pretty
Yeah,
good.
because if you go anywhere else, it's like $100 to $150 for a day pass for those beach resorts. But yeah, so those are the couple things. As far as rates go, rates have been up, they've been down. They're still sticking right around, the sixes, high fives, low sixes on VA, mid sixes on conventional. So, we're hoping that the war in Iran can do its thing and run its course, and we can be done with it very soon, so that we can get some rate relief. I do believe once the war, quote unquote, is complete, that rates will come down 100%. It will definitely come down with with gas prices as well. So other than that, that's pretty much all I got. We're still doing all the DSCRs and all the non-QM stuff, P&L loans. I mean, you name it, we pretty much do it. All right. Any questions?
No.
All right.
No, no, okay. All
And
right.
we're licensed in all 50 states. Don't forget.
Thanks, Greg. Right down. Yeah. Separate. It's not there.
Oh, I just sent it to you for next time, but thank you. But I got it.
Hopefully it'll say this. I saved it in my personal, so.
I don't know if you guys have talked about this yet, because I've missed a couple weeks of Stump the Broker. What was at the last meeting? Anyway, have you guys heard about the new VA appraisal rules?
A couple of them, but
Okay.
please go through them because the people on here, a lot of them were not at the simple circle.
Okay, so the biggest thing is that they have changed the fee and the turn time,
Mhm.
which is awesome in my opinion, because it's only $100 more than what we were seeing on average. So it went from 600 to 700. But now it's a 7 business day return time instead of 10 days. So before it was taking about 14 days because they don't count holidays and weekends. So now it's 7 days and it starts the day after the appraisal has been assigned. So the cool part is Rebecca and I have some elements to close by the end of the month that just went under contract today and it's a VA loan. Oh, yesterday. It's a VA loan and we're going to make it happen
Holy crap.
because we're going to have an appraisal back in time. So it's pretty exciting. They do have a little like asterisk on the last not curriculum circular that says that they're always, it's right now they're changing it due to the demands in the market. So they can always change it back. But we haven't often seen VA change things back, to be honest. Once they make a decision, they kind of keep going if everybody's happy. So I think that's exciting because it's been the one thing that I think when it comes to quick closing, people will call me and say, how quick can you close? And typically it's 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the loan program. But VA, I say no less than 3 weeks because
Right.
of the appraisal potential. Because that means like for 14 days, you have to order that appraisal like the day after you're under contract.
Mhm.
So anyway, cool thing with some flexibility. What's that about?
Wasn't there something else that they changed on it though? We were talking about, I can't remember what it was we talked about that.
Multi-unit went up to 900.
Yeah, it was like something they did, paint chips. Paint chips. They're
Oh,
not
no.
doing paint chips anymore.
I did know that. Yeah,
Yes.
they are. Yep.
I was like, we talked
We're
about
like,
something
why
that was
haven't-
really big. They're not
Why
doing.
haven't they gotten rid of the railing requirement? But
No.
Really?
I mean, technically, you can on every railing you can request a waiver and they'll remove it. But the fact that they're still hitting for it, I feel like should go away. But
Yeah.
So they're not gonna flag paint chips.
Supposedly.
Wow.
Yeah, FHA too, right? Supposedly.
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 Um,
I say it all very lightly. Like the stuff she's talking about is concrete. You can actually measure that, right?
Yeah.
To get every appraiser to stop doing it, it's gonna be.
Yeah,
But I
here's the
think you
problem is-
can, like if you're there, be like, oh, I think what are you checking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it'll be something that we'll be able to go back and say, can you make it? Like, can you do it?
Yeah.
An update to this appraisal
Yeah.
report, which is why we do the LNOV is to make sure that they've got everything correctly before we release it.
Did y'all get an actual list out on it, like a document?
I have the circular. I can look to see if it's in there.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh.
Because all we're hearing is from different
Yeah, I'll look and I'll get it over
people.
to
You
you.
know what I mean? We don't have actual
Yeah.
proof.
I
of that
definitely
stuff.
have the timeline change I can send you and all of the things that go with that, but I'll double check on the paint check.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then the other thing that we're seeing a lot more of, I don't know about Craig and Bill's not in here, but I'm getting more and more. I know we started talking about this also in Stump the Broker like a few months ago, but PDRs, which is a property data
Yes.
report, more and more, and not just on homes. So does everybody know what a property data report is? So a property data report is like kind of scaled down appraisal. They're still going out to the property, they're still taking pictures of the property, but they're not assigning it a value always unless it's needed or requested, usually on rental properties. And it's half the price of an appraisal. It's shorter turn time too. We're mostly seeing it on conventional loans. We were only really seeing it when there was at least 10% equity or loan to value in the home. And definitely 20% you can get like the appraisal waiver, but usually the PDR will hit first. But I just got 2 back to back on a 5% down.
Really?
Yeah. So
That's great.
yeah. So what that means is that when we plug everything into the system, the address, the 5% down, and we run it through our automated desktop underwriter, it's hitting and saying, okay, based on the purchase price of this property and the average market value or median value of the home in the area that they're purchasing in, the value seems like it's there. And so they're giving us the option to do a PDR.
No appraisal.
No appraisal.
So what good is a PDR that doesn't assign a value?
So if you don't like, if you're not trying to hit an appraisal gap, or like if you're not offering over value of the home,
Sign of the market.
an appraisal gap or guarantee, it's showing that the market is stable too in our area. It's just less money for the borrower and closing costs.
Well, I get that,
Yeah.
but I don't understand what that does for
A
you.
little quicker
It
turn.
doesn't tell you what the property is worth market-wise.
It just means that whatever it's listed for and you agreed to pay for it, it seems right on.
Okay, so
So it's not, and I don't just assume everybody wants to do it. I call the agent first and I say, hey, is there any reason you feel like we would need to do a full appraisal on this property? Or that you would want to do one? We've received a PDR option. If they don't know what it is, I explain it. They say, I don't see any reason to do it. Unless the buyer wants to, I call the buyer, explain it to the buyer and get the option.
is the PDR quicker to get out there?
Quicker to get out and quicker to return.
Mhm.
Got it.
And cost less.
Yes, and it costs. Those are some appraisal updates. Other than that, same thing. Craig and said rates are what they are. I mean, it's not slowing anybody down. To be honest, this is the busiest I've been in 2 or 3 years. So things are going well. People are buying homes, and
Yeah.
there's still programs out there that fit people's needs.
Yeah, we're double the volume this month than we were last month.
I'm done with this month than I was last month. So
That's all matters.
Yeah. It's picking up, picking up.
people are buying. I think that's about it. Any
Okay.
questions or anything anybody's seeing or has questions about from me?
Thank
Okay,
you.
make sure. Yep. All right, thank you. Great. Got lots of people online today as opposed to in here. Everybody had things to do.
Oh, let's see. What's happening in the Geico world?
Yeah, what is happening?
Things are picking up, which I guess that means that maybe the economy is doing somewhat okay. I thought it would be just a good, important reminder about homeowners insurance, especially as people are moving out of their house and we're listing them for sale. Friend of mine is in the process of flipping a home, and 4 days after closing, somebody was trying to get into the house.
Oh my.
And we consider that malicious mischief. And remember that when a home is vacant, greater than 30 days, malicious mischief is excluded, which means if some flagrant or whatever goes into the place and burns and sets it on fire, there is no coverage for that house.
It's crazy.
That's if you go on vacation 45 days and no one's home. Malicious mischief, somebody's got to be there. Somebody's got a house sit, somebody, because we don't insure abandoned homes, right? There are certain forms. So this house that's being flipped has a certain coverage on there, or certain restrictions, but it's still heavily restricted. And so as it's getting to be springtime, just have that in the back of your mind. It's not your responsibility to let your client know that this is absolutely happening, but it's really important that the house just not sit empty, because if something happens, there's no coverage.
Is someone checking in on it count, or do they have to be living?
Someone has to stay overnight.
So if you have contractors that are working during the day, it's not empty, that's not considered.
They don't live there. Yeah. And so it's just I mean, you can read it in your own homeowner's insurance contract. We don't allow vacancies, and we generally don't allow them greater than 30 days.
It's not just Geico.
It's not, it's not- listen, there's not a single Geico logo here for the insurance companies that are being written, right? Vacant homes is everybody. It's the standard HO3 form. We call it the special form. There's no coverage.
Does it, if, let's say someone moving out, if they get a fix, like a rehab loan, would that cover, mischief? Malicious?
I don't think that as part of that capital expenditure that they're doing, that's not going to cover malicious mischief. That you can get a builder's risk
Let me
policy,
say that.
which
That's
we
exactly what you should get.
which
Yep.
we sell, but I'd have to look because we only write that through Travelers. A lot of places don't write builder's risk. Travelers writes it, we write it. But I'd have to look at the contract. My assumption is malicious mischief, we're out. There's no one there to protect the asset. And so therefore, and this is every one of those insurance companies and every one that's not listed. The standard HO3 special form in the state of Virginia that every single carrier writes does not allow the home to be vacant greater than 30 days, period. And so it's just a reminder that as closings get extended and people move out of the area and things happen
And snowbirds.
and snowbirds. Yes, that's why we have house sitting. That's why we have nannies. That's why and I know, well, that costs money. Well, so does being a snowbird, right? So someone's just got to be there, at least every 30 days.
I mean, some just need to stay the night once every 30 days.
And we can argue, we may be able to argue.
So how do you prove that?
Well, that's what I say. You probably could argue 45 days, but when all of a sudden it's completely empty because they've moved out, right? And you're showing empty homes. Yeah. And it's malicious mischief, vandalism, that kind of stuff. If lightning strikes it and burns down, it's covered. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your?
What if someone is staying every couple of weeks? How would you prove that?
Well, I think if there was a loss, she would be prepared to say this place wasn't abandoned. Yeah, we spent the night here. But when the water's off, the electric's off,
Them. Like
you
they're
know,
gonna go through.
right? When the utilities are off, and then
The use,
yeah, it's like and you all have had that listing, right?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
all have had that listing, and it's just we need to, or you're buying it, and you want to talk about something that gets. And that's the reason why the final walkthrough is so important right before closing, because if something happened,
Don't you love when he comes up? He's like, "Let's see, what can we talk about?" And then it's always the big thing.
well, it just really, I mean, it's got us freaked out on this one that they're rehabbing
Yeah,
because, like we put the kitchen cabinets in the front yard and within like 7 minutes they were gone. It's like, it's fine. They were the old ones. I don't know why anybody would want them.
but still, it brings awareness.
But
but it just scares you. The old ones are
Yeah.
gonna think about the new ones.
exactly. That's
Exactly.
like, I need the new ones mounted. Don't put them in the kitchen floor.
Yeah.
We're like, hide the tools and make this place,
Yes.
make this place look abandoned, contractor. And what's the insurance company saying? No, don't make it look
Don't
abandoned.
abandon, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And I never knew that was a thing. So we're always learning something.
It never stops. And listen, insurance companies exist for the primary purpose to collect the premium. And then at the time of the loss, they exist for the purpose to find every reason why not to pay.
We
And
really
then
need to
once-
get another class with him.
And then once we're ready to pay, once we know we have to pay, then we'll let the money flow. But until it's ready to go, we're going to find every reason to say, nope, 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 nope. We had a customer yesterday on auto. It's her and her daughter's on the policy. And her daughter's like 27 years old and she no longer lives in the same house as her mom. And that's not allowed. The vehicle's out of the care, custody, and control of the insured. Two things must be present in order for you to have an insurance policy. You must have insurable interest, meaning you own it. You can't buy life insurance on me because you don't have an insurable interest in whether I die or not. You'll be deeply saddened, but you don't have a financial loss. And you must have care, custody, and control of the vehicle at all times. And she wanted to argue with us. Okay, have an accident, because at the time of the accident, we're going to deny the claim because you didn't have care, custody, and control of your vehicle. I have the keys. That's not care, custody, and control. That may be control. That's not care and custody. You have to have all three: care, custody, and control in order to insure a
If
vehicle.
your son's driving the car at college and it's your car.
That's fine because that's an exception. 28-year-old married woman that's living across town,
Yeah.
she has a responsibility to have her own insurance. Mom, it's not you anymore.
Mom can pay her to go and get it.
Yes, especially when it's
an insurance company.
Yes. You want it for the
I
float.
would say for
That's
the.
That's a whole nother story.
You don't want it.
Yeah. Right. All right. Any other questions? Any questions online?
No.
Okay. Listen, we're available. We want to be there. These two are using us a lot and we really appreciate it. We make it easy. We make it very simple. 35% of Hampton Roads is buying Geico, whether you get involved or not. I'm just asking you to get in the middle of the transaction and send them to me.
We are wondering why we didn't use them earlier. Like we're loving it so much. So smooth.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
we appreciate it very much. Thank you all.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we have things to talk about like coming soon. So we've been talking about it for a while and Stump the Broker and one-on-ones. For those of you that haven't heard about it or dove into it very deeply, that means you haven't had a one-on-one with me or haven't been to Stump the Broker. Shame, shame, shame. But we're going to dive into it pretty quickly here. We're going to do a little overview of it. We put together this slideshow that Rain had sent us as well. Just kind of took some pieces. But the coming soon listing must be entered to the MLS by the next business day from the coming soon start date. So you're allowed to have it for 10 days, but it has to go in from that date. So you can take it off sooner if you want to. There's another form for that. There's an actual form for the coming soon. You can take it off sooner, but 10 days is the max. There has to be at least one exterior photo. And when it says all required documents, that is the packet. We actually have a packet in there for you in broker mint for you to take a look at. During the coming soon period, you cannot have showings. You can't have an open house. You can't review offers. You can't negotiate them. You can't take them. It has to be active before that can occur. Now, there is a coming soon. When you log into Rain, you all should have seen the little coming soon thing there. There's not very many of those. I've been looking at them, but it's growing. Get on the bus. We've told you guys for a couple weeks now, get on the bus with that because people are now starting to pick up and do it. We've been talking about it in Stump the Broker, so a lot of you have, but that first night there was 6. That was it. So just go in there and take a look at it now. It is growing, but it's still not where it needs to be. But I know more people are going to start seeing this coming up. I would schedule my 10 days for it to automatically start because here's the thing, it automatically starts. You don't have to have Caitlin go in and hit it live. I would make it automatically start my 10th day being on a Saturday so you can have an open house at the same time. And so that way it kind of kicks in. This is your way of actually having listings go live on the weekends. Whereas we don't have an admin on weekends, right? So this is your way of getting a listing to go live on the weekends and it does it automatically. And then you can have your open house at the same time. That's my suggestion, my little tip and trick for this, because you know I like to have the tips and tricks. Yes.
I might have not been listening because I was reading, but I went to a broker's open because you can hold a broker's open. That was what I was told during the coming soon, but not show it to anybody.
As well.
Yeah,
It's very, here's the thing. You have to do it strategically in a way that you know that the only people coming in there, but I mean, it's very rough. So if somebody wants to turn someone in,
I'm just saying, because
Yeah.
it got a lot of agents in that house.
Yeah.
That definitely probably had buyers. Right.
Yeah.
Also come see that.
Yeah.
house.
you could do a broker open. You just can't have, they're not allowed to bring clients. They're not allowed to show like you any type of, okay, here's what my client is willing to give. No negotiations, no nothing. If you do want to do that, come to me so we can go through the, yes,
Can an agent in there do a video call with the client? At broker's
Cannot.
open?
cannot. It's no digital, it says.
It said we were allowed to take videos for content. We couldn't. You couldn't.
Yes, only content. Only content, which is what we talked about before, how we go in and do content. But here's the thing, you have to, but here's the thing, there's no social media advertising. So when you do content, you can't advertise the property. So you have to wait till you cannot do any social media advertising whatsoever. So even taking content, you can't say anything about the name of the property, where it's at, nothing
Can
like
you
that.
put coming soon, like MLS on social media?
You could do the coming soon, yeah, but you cannot market any more than what that is. You can't, like, taking that video is more than what's in there. That video is not in the MLS.
Okay, so whatever's in the MLS, you can market
Correct,
that
correct, yep. But you can't put it out there as like,
more than what.
correct, yeah, just the coming soon. The website display is allowed. social media advertising is allowed for coming soon only. Yard signage is allowed with the coming soon. You can't just put the yard sign out there. It has to have the coming soon, which we have signs for you guys. For those of you that have pictures up, they are here, ready to go. No additional photos, videos. That's what we just talked about. Property details not listed in the MLS. That's what we just said. So glad you asked that. That was already on there. They may remain assessed for 10 consecutive calendar days. Days on market doesn't occur during the coming soon. So you can't accrue days on market, right? So if it's there for 10 days and then your first day is day 11, it's only one day, not 11 days on the market. So they don't accrue during that time.
So the listing date is the actual date it hits the market.
Yes.
Mhm. Yep. And then it manually, we just talked about that, it manually goes in. You can stop it ahead of time. There is paperwork to stop it ahead to make it go live. You can't do it more than basically once. So every 60 days, it can change hands, right? But if you take it off and give it to another agent inside of your firm, you can't do another coming soon within that 60 days. After 60 days, then you can do another one. It has to change complete firms under that time in order to do it.
So this one coming soon on Hollister just has 2 pictures. Is that
You gotta have
That's it.
a
are
minimum.
they limiting that? They just decided.
They just decided to only put 2. You gotta have at least one, but they've got 2. They say it must be off the market for 60 days before the same firm or agent can relist it as coming soon. So even if you change names, we just talked about. So if after 30 days, you want to take it off the market and give it to Rebecca, she can't do another coming soon. Has to be 61 days.
For some reason, I thought that you could only have one photo during conference.
No.
Okay.
Minimum of 1.
Minimum. okay.
Minimum of 1. Yeah.
You can keep adding photos a day, every day, like different photos, days.
Yeah. Great interest.
Yeah, create some interest.
Yeah. What? Yes.
So I did listing paperwork for a listing to go live next Wednesday.
Mhm.
Didn't do coming soon because there's some issues as far as timing. But now I like the idea of if I do a coming soon and just trigger it to go live that Saturday into an open house. I just have to go back and get the listing date changed and then the coming soon done.
You got it. Yep. And get with Caitlin. She knows how to get you all squared away.
And it can be just one picture, like,
Yeah.
okay,
You need a change in your data entry form.
yeah, okay, change it on all the listing paperwork. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. We already talked about the yard signs. Sorry, that was just another. Sign, listing agreement, rain coming. So we just talked about that. So we can go past that. This is just what it is. It's very small there, but we have it in Brokerment for you to grab at any time. It's already in there. It also shows it on the data input. There's a little coming soon portion now on that data input that you can put in. There's also a thing at the top where it has the little box to select it.
Yeah.
For the coming soon, you can kind of see it, right?
And you don't have to update that when it goes live. From the coming soon box being checked.
You don't have to update it. If you are continuing on letting it go live, you
Yeah.
don't have to update anything.
Great.
But yeah, so if it's coming soon, like a couple days before, you can go in and also put open house.
Yeah, you can you can schedule the open house
You
for
can schedule
whatever.
the open house for
Yeah.
the day that.
Yep,
it's-
you got it.
Cool.
Yep, you sure can.
Okay.
Same thing here, just a little bit more of the coming soon. See how it says, to active, property be listed, active, commencing on the following date. It has that date on there. That's what you were kind of asking about, Jimmy, right? So it has that on there. Which is good. So it's fun, it's exciting. Any questions on coming soon? I think it's a good thing. In our area, this 10 days is very low compared to what War and everybody else is. So, another thing that's happening right now, if you don't know, is that VPAR and Hurrah are looking at coming together as to being one big realtor association. We're voting on that, I think, at the end of this month. I think it's the end of this month. Should have grabbed those dates to be sure, but I think it's the end of this month. We're all voting if we want that to happen or not. So once that does, I'm not sure what Circle of Excellence and everything else is going to look like. Are they going to have it at a place that's kind of like central? Is there going to be different rules and regulations? Because with VPAR, all of the contractors and the appraisers and everybody can actually apply for a key and go in and out of the houses. So I'm kind of wondering if we'll adopt that over here.
So is that gonna be a good thing or not a good thing?
It
Are
was-
we voting for it to
mean,
We're voting together. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen after everybody joins together. I'm just saying VPAR right now, that's what they do. That's something, I'm just telling you something
it's a
that's different.
benefit we might.
So there's differences on both sides. I'm not sure who's gonna adopt what, but I think it would be good to have that for sure.
To be joined as one.
If we get to adopt the things that they're having.
Yeah, okay.
It might go to us, but-
Yeah.
All your approvals will have a key then. So
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Correct. Now, of course, whenever my agents who are part of VPAR, we still want to be there. So we still want them to schedule. That's why you have a CBS code and everything on, right? But it's just nice to still know that you don't have to like be there for re-inspections or anything like that. I do like being there for every appraiser. And I encourage every single one of you to be there for your appraiser. But it still gives a little bit more leeway, especially with contractors and different people like that. So it's good. All right, top agents, we have a clean sweep with David as top listing and closing agent for volume and transaction. Congratulations, David. And then closing team, clean sweep for transactions and volume for listing and closing team at Unstable Homes. Congratulations. Nikki, you are up to bat on events.
I'm here for all of the collabs because the other collabs are actually, they're on the, they're working. But we have asked the appraiser, like Cregan said, on Thursday, May 28th.
Yours is first, yours is up there. At the
Oh,
top.
oh yeah, that's right. I wanted to say mine last actually, so I can talk a little
Okay,
bit more
yeah.
about it. We have Postal B Day on June 1st. That we've been doing it what 5, 6 years now,
Mhm.
and we've been going. But this year, it's going to be at a new at their new location that they've been talking for the past 3 years. So we'll be going in there, organizing and helping them set up. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely do make it.
If you can't come, we will take donations. We go and buy stuff for the place. Like before, we bought a lot of outdoor stuff. We're still buying more outdoor stuff. We're getting flower boxes and flowers, and
And
we're doing inside cleaning the inside, doing, and then whatever money's left over, we're donating to their scholarship fund. So if you want to donate as opposed to coming, then that's fine. We also have Geico who is sponsoring our lunch for that day. So afterwards, we will be heading to Mexican like always, having a good time. And they will be sponsoring that day. So thank you, Greg, for that.
Okay, then I'll go back to my class, which is coming coming on Thursday, 10 o'clock at the office. It is a lead generation class. We do different kind of we'll talk about definitely phone calls, scripting. I wanted to share something. Thomasina and me have been doing one-on-ones and talking about like if we don't want to pay for leads, what should we do? And Thomasina definitely encouraged me to pour into my sphere. She asked me to do my numbers, which was a little hard, but I got to it. And we found out that most of our leads were coming from our sphere. So what I did this past week for Nation Me, we spent $200 and got Mother's Day flowers. And we the past week we wrote handwritten cards and we went and dropped it off. My God, our clients were just so happy. They were happy with the flowers, but they were also happy to see us. They called us in. But long story short was we did get 2 leads. $200, 2 leads. One is a past client that's looking to list. We knew it was in the charts, but that day when we went, they were showing us everything that they had done because I think they're gonna list in July. So that's really, really good. Oh, those are the flowers. And
Oh, it's a long story, but yeah, those are mine not at my house. My kids stole.
and one was a client who is looking to do investments. So 2 leads. I encourage everyone. If you all come to the class on Thursday, we can talk about different things that we can do. You don't have to spend a lot. Just actually do it. And I'm going to be maybe when you guys come on the class, we'll talk about what we can do for Father's Day. So definitely encourage you to come to the class and get those leads. And we also we'll talk about what is.
So about 2 weeks ago, we went to Unite, which is a real estate conference hosted by Inside Real Estate that owns Brockermint and Back Office, what we use for our systems.
And Bolton.
And Bolt Trail. And it was great when we were there. It's the stuff that you learn, it's the people you meet, what they have to say. And, you come to realize we are our own obstacles in our own way. The people you see there are just like us, doing more deals, doing things, but they're doing it. As I said, we are our biggest obstacles. And when you're there, you learn stuff, you learn systems. It's nothing like you come back with a magic code or a magic pill. It's the energy you bring back from there and you harvest that to take your business forward. So, we highly encourage for everyone, any conference, whatever it is, or invest in yourself to put time to make yourself, better. We all got stuff going on every day. There are problems. We all deal with it, but you got to set some time aside to, to pour that in your business, and that's what takes you forward.
Yeah, they got a lot of different things to add on to their Bold Trail as well that helps them nurture their clients, which was really good and
Yeah, we
inexpensive.
we invested in some. We'll let you guys know how that goes. But one of the team leaders had a breakout session, and what he said, like, we keep talking about the rates and the market and all of that stuff, but his bottom line was just go sell the freaking house. Forget about everything else. And that was my biggest takeaway. Just go sell the house. Forget about everything else. And when we have that mindset, I think it works. And I did want to share another story that was kind of an eye opener for me. I got this lead 4 years ago from a friend, not like an acquaintance. She said that somebody had posted in one of the groups, like the Indian groups, that they were looking for a realtor. And she said, "Hey, Nikita, can I give them your name? Why don't you talk?" I said, "Yes, of course, I want that lead." So I called the lady. I had a great conversation, put her on a search. And I don't know, she didn't get my emails. It went into spam. I don't know what happened. But when I did reach out to her in a week, like, "Hey, how's it going? Have you seen any homes?" She said, "You know what? Oh, my husband has a realtor in his office. Somebody suggested. So I'm sorry, we can't use you." And I was really hurt. I was like, "What? You didn't even give me a chance." Okay, fast forward to 4 years. Yeah.
Last week.
2 weeks ago, the lady calls me. She said, "Hey, do you remember me?" I didn't remember her, but I said, yeah. I was at the wedding and there was a lot of noise. It's like, yeah, of course I remember you. How are you? This, that, and the other. I said, "Hey, I'm at a wedding. Please send me your number. Please send me a text and I'll call you right back." So the next day I called her. She said, "Don't call me, call my husband." The next day I called the husband. I still couldn't figure out who they were, but they said, "Hey, they want to sell their house." And of course, ready to take the listing. So went to their home. And again, I had to ask her, like, "Hey, I'm so very gently, I said, where have we met? I know we've met." She said, "No, remember, we spoke, we spoke 4 years ago." And the husband said, "We bought a house with somebody else, but they tried selling their home 6 months ago, didn't work out well." And then the wife said that, "We thought about you because everything you told us about the area, about the schools, about Virginia Beach, about Chesapeake, everything you told us was really, really to the point. And even though we didn't use you, we kind of regretted it because we felt like you guys had the knowledge. And now we want to sell a house, and I had your number saved." So my point is, we don't know where it's going to come back, but when we are out there, just, when people talk about like schools, especially because Virginia Beach, we have such great schools, people don't know. So I always want to talk about the magnet schools. Hey, we have this, and, we want to be that resource. So I think that, that was like in my brain, like, hey, just do the right thing. It's going to come back. So I just want to share.
Good stories, good stories. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you. All right, Lucy is online with us. So Lucy, go ahead and unmute.
Hello.
Oh, hold on, Lucy. You've been quiet for a minute. Okay, Lucy, you should be good.
Am I? Am I really?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, cool. Another thing we kind of covered in Stump the Broker was the new Virginia Association of Realtors contract. I'm not going to go into it now. I'm just going to caution anyone who wants to use that contract to have a conversation with me before you go forward with it if you have not been at Stump the Broker and listened to the differences between the contracts and understand what's going on with it. One thing I did learn when I went to a second training on this contract, which I will share, is that any item written into a contract underneath the signatures of the parties to the contract is considered information only. It is not anything that is actionable in the contract. So make sure that you are not writing in any contingencies, any provisions, anything that matters underneath signatures. Now, the RAIN contract makes that real easy. All the other contracts I've seen, everything, all the blank spaces are above the signatures. I'm just giving you a cautionary tale here of what not to do. So if you stick to the contract and the way it's set up, you should be fine. It was just something I did not know and found interesting, so I'm sharing it.
Yeah.
Really interesting. I never.
I didn't either. I didn't either.
I need to be a broken record and say again that if you have transactions that are being done with entities, LLCs, corporations, whatever, I need the documents supporting the signatures on those documents, on the contract documents. Even if it's a past client and I recognize the LLC, that doesn't mean you can get away with not loading the LLC docs into the new transaction. I need them associated with every single transaction to make things compliant and legal. Anybody have any questions or anything from me?
No, I think that's it.
All right, the last big news item is that as of 6 a.m. Friday morning, I am completely disconnected. I am going on vacation. I'm going to put my toes in the sand and not think about you guys.
Lies, lies.
No, it's true.
Have fun.
So yeah, I'll be back after Memorial Day.
Thinking about us, but have fun.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'm always the resource.
Okay.
We want to go with
And the
you.
collaborators. Me and the collaborators.
We'll teach you.
All right, Jess.
Okay, real quick. I found the pamphlet that has all the minimum property requirement changes with like the paint chips. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna pop it into an AI bot, to be honest, and get it to bullet point because it's a lot.
Want me to go? I have it up here. You want me to?
Oh, sweet. But I was gonna tell you so the peeling paint thing is legit. I had
Okay.
seen it, but I couldn't remember.
Okay,
either.
good.
But not for homes built before 1978 because they assume those are lead-based paint properties, and so those are still gonna have the same.
Oh, so that's not changed there.
That's
It has though, because
No,
they
it
did
has
it with
to be-
all
yeah.
of them. They did it with all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, peeling paint used to
Experienced that, but I had experienced the before 78 with chips.
be. No, peeling paint has always been a thing.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, it's
because
just
if
a
you were a
paint
good
and stuff.
agent, not you, I said you're not, maybe you're not. Doorways were a big one because like the appraiser walks through these doorways, so they would hit for that all the time. So a lot of agents would have it repaired before they
Yeah.
even list the property. A lot of times they weren't catching it on things like porches because they weren't really like hanging on the porch, but it was like doorways,
Lights.
around, yeah.
The porches were all around the railings. They
Yeah,
was good.
the radon gas rules are gone, however, you're gonna still wanna get that checked.
Yeah.
In general, but it's not a minimum requirement anymore. And the detached sheds and barns, which that had gone away a while ago, appraisers, all like when I first started in business, were giving value to sheds.
Right.
Which was causing issues because then you'd have to get a termite and moisture and the peeling paint fixed on those as well. That is officially written in that, because I haven't seen it in a while.
So they're not even.
But they're not even, yeah, as long as they're not giving value to these spot these additional dwellings in there.
Well, if there's an additional dwelling out back, my brother has this. It's over in Little Neck area. And out back, it's not a shed. It looks like a damn. It could be an in-law suite and it's got an upstairs and a downstairs, but they're using it as storage. But it's nice. I mean, it's like, I don't know, maybe 30 feet by 15 feet wide and 2 stories. I mean, it's not a friggin' shed. Do they not appraise that as part of the deal?
So I've seen it go both ways. If it's not currently being used and it's not like, there's not running water in it, there's not electricity, which there might be electricity because there are lights. But if there's not any, like, it's not a livable or inhabitable space, they won't assign value to it. I had a house in Oklahoma that it was a legit second house on the property, but it was so dilapidated that all they did was require them to board up a door and they didn't give it value and they didn't do anything with it.
Would think that this particular situation, my brother's place, would be the same as a pool, but they assign value to pools, right? As part of the property.
They,
Even if
You mean a
it's
pool
not-
house?
you,
Excuse me?
You mean a pool house or a pool?
No, a pool.
that would be a good question.
Well, pool
for
wouldn't
the
be the same as,
appraiser.
but
No, I'm saying if
Should
it's,
run
if
from
it's
yourself.
not a livable type of a situation, but it's part of the enjoyment of the property.
For the mother-in-law suite that you're saying is back there?
Well, it's not really a month-long suite, but it could be in 10 minutes, you know, or a pool. I mean, it's an enjoyment of the property.
You do get some value for having a pool versus the same property.
We talked, asked the appraiser when he was here last time, we talked about pool houses. He said they don't really give it that much value. Like you can't add it to the square footage and, you know,
Right,
think, okay,
exactly.
the home is, yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
if now, once it's converted, that is definitely, because I have someone who has a pool house, that's a mother.
a true dwelling.
That has a true, right, true, yes, that would get value. Even the pools though, because I mean, I haven't talked to Patrick about this in a while, but even pools, he said, are very, they don't get as much as we think they do, we all know that. And it also varies from neighborhood to neighborhood, like in
It
King
does.
Grant, we get more value for our pools because people want them and almost expect them in certain areas. Where in other areas, they don't get as much.
Depends on the value of the home. If it's 450,000, they're not gonna give you 20-30,000 on a pool.
Yeah.
But if you're over $1 million,
Over
they
five.
will give you.
Right. Yeah, yeah, so anyway, does that answer your question?
Thank you. I'm glad you found that.
I was like, I would think, and that might be a question if you're going to ask the appraiser,
Yeah.
but from my experience, that wouldn't be a significant value, and would you want it to be, because then,
Absolutely.
okay. And
Because
as long
this is
as it,
definitely, when you're in the backyard, you're looking at this thing going, my God.
but if it's not converted, doesn't mean just because you see value in it, that the next person's gonna buy it and convert it, they just might still continue to see it as store.
So it's subjective.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's the
always
subjective part of the
subjective, yeah.
appraiser.
that's the appraiser.
Say, well, this is nice, or this is a piece of crap.
Yeah.
They decide.
Yeah.
But technically, the additional dwelling units, unless they're livable, shouldn't be receiving value or be considered on part of it, as part of it. From my experience and what they're telling us, and that's the additional dwelling units are also included in here, so I'm gonna do, this is the detailed pamphlet from the VA. And then I'll do like a quick bullet point 1, 2,
Yeah.
I'll share that with you guys.
Perfect. Thank you
But
for
the
that.
paint chips, I thought that was interesting.
She's like, call me back up. Call me back. I got it, though. I'm in.
Because I knew, I was like, I felt like when I read something about the paint chips, I was like, there was something where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then I forgot what that was, but it was the lead-based paint.
That's good stuff there.
Yeah.
Good stuff, good stuff. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Caitlin, are you on here? If you are on here, do you have anything that you would like to share?
Yeah, I'm on here. Can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, perfect. The only thing I really have is just making sure that all your documents are submitted. I know I say that every single time, but also you can send me a text, shoot me a personal email and say, hey, this went under contract, just letting you know so we don't, miss our timeline, especially with, summer coming along and people going on vacations and all that good stuff. It is just helpful.
That's a good one. If you're going on vacation, please have a backup, even if you don't think you need a backup. I cannot schedule your showings for you, show property for you. I mean, I can, but it's gonna be really hard, especially at the spur of a moment. We had that happen last week and they were like, can you go to, I was like, I would love to, but I'm in the middle of a meeting. It's really hard for me to jump out and do that. I was able to help somebody with a house. an agent showed it in the morning and left it unlocked, and I wasn't, because it was right around, so I ran out there and I locked the house back for the agent. But the other one who was like, can you call this agent and get him to show property and schedule it for him? I couldn't do that because I was in a meeting. So have another agent as your backup. I'll do my best to help you out, but sometimes I'm just like, I can't, I'm stuck in a meeting. But just have another agent as a backup. And then what I always say is then you be their backup when they go on vacation. Then it's kind of like, no one's having to give a lot of money. You're both kind of helping each other out. Tanya and Chrissy do it a lot. I definitely highly encourage that. Nikki and Munesh, when they go out of town, they always grab somebody to make sure they're handling their stuff. Just have a backup. Again, even if you don't think anyone, just grab one. It's definitely worth it. Because there's not a lot of times I can just run out. But it's definitely worth for you to have that. And then her talking about having on paperwork, and we are getting a lot of that. We're also we had 2 in the last couple months where people turned in paperwork after it closed. We can't do that. That's a violation. We're all in trouble at that point. We have to review all the documents. Lucy has to have those in her hand and in the system for us to actually look that over as part of compliance. Can't just go and close the property and then say, here you go. It doesn't work out that way. It's really bad for everybody. Unfortunately, one that we had last week, they didn't get any commission because they didn't put the commission on there.
So I don't know if this has been
And it
addressed or
closed.
not, but when I pulled a checklist over, purchase checklist over and filled it out and sent it for signatures and then sent it to the listing agent, I immediately pulled it back because the purchase agreement was the 2020 purchase agreement.
Okay, so yeah, just if you ever see anything
Okay.
like that, Caitlin, can you check into that?
I'll reach out to her later.
She's on here. She's with
Yes. Sorry, I just have to, it takes me a minute to hit unmute, but
Yeah.
yes, I'll check that. And I'll get with, that was Rebecca, I heard.
I fixed it
Okay.
real quick. And
Okay,
realized
I
that-
will just shoot me a text of which checklist that was, and I will go look at that.
Yep, if you guys
Thank
ever
you.
see anything like that, especially since we just had the checklist revamped, Cindy was in there revamping them, so there could have been some mistakes that were made because there was a lot of revamping being done. So if you see anything like that, let us know. We'll switch it over. Catch, Rebecca. Very good catch. Go ahead, Caitlin. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It just kind of triggered what had happened last couple weeks.
Oh, no, that was it. But yeah, I'm glad you brought up the whole vacation. If you go on vacation, you got to have some kind of backup,
Viable
especially if
backup.
you don't have service.
Oh yeah, that was one.
That's all.
The many hours. Again, I'd love to help you out. If I was able to run, I will, like I did for the one agent. I was able to run around the quarter, but if a lot of times I'm in meetings, that time I was just on a meeting on the phone, so I was able to run over. But I'm not very reliable when it comes to having me get out of this office and go do something like that.
We
At
don't
the
need
spur
to
of
know
the
where
moment.
each other live.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It's like,
Right.
hey,
I'm
let
not
me
with
call.
those
Yes.
guys. Everybody
Yeah,
knows.
I'm in Chesapeake. Yeah, and I'm also here at the office too. But yeah, that is true. We have our Kempsville people. Hey, like we do, and we're like, hey, I know you live close, especially across the water. Like, Lauren, hey, can you help? Yeah, that is true. Knowing where your fellow agents live helps a lot, a lot. All right, and last we will close in prayer. Lord, thank you so much for every agent that is here, and I just want to thank you for all of our partners that you bless us with. We really have such knowledgeable, kind, wonderful partners. All of our partners that are here with us are Christian, and I know that you hand selected every single one of them to be in our lives, and I am so grateful that you have matched us so perfectly with them. Our agents really appreciate them. They appreciate our agents, and we appreciate you as this is your business. It's in your name we pray. Amen. All right. See you guys around. Keep up the good work and all Austin. We're still on, Austin. We're still on. We have 11 participants. Is there any insight or wisdom you would like to bestow upon us today, sir? You're the one who walked in last.
Thank you, Carol.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
I've been looking at it. I've been looking at it. Did you see a price drop?
Yeah.
Yeah.